In the ancient city of Cyprus, around 300 BC, there lived a wealthy merchant named Zeno. His ships carried treasures across the Mediterranean, until one voyage changed everything. On his journey from Phoenicia to Piraeus, disaster struck. A violent storm tore through the waves, and in moments his ship was gone. All his cargo, his life's work, sank to the depths of the sea. In an instant, a rich man became poor. Now imagine being Zeno, your fortune gone, your dreams shattered, your future uncertain. How would you react? Would you rage against fate? Fall into despair? Would you curse the world for its unfairness? Most of us would. But not Zeno. That single tragedy would become the spark that ignited Stoicism, a philosophy that would shape minds for over 2,000 years. Asterisk sometimes. One small moment can echo through eternity. One small shift in how we think can rewrite the story of our entire life. That is the essence of Stoicism: acceptance, discipline, and inner strength. After his loss, Zeno turned to the wisdom of Socrates and other philosophers. Through reflection and study, he found something powerful. We can't control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. Instead of mourning what he'd lost, Zeno chose composure. He chose calm. He chose to build his mind rather than break under fate's weight. Asterisk today, people often misunderstand Stoicism. They think it means feeling nothing, being cold, detached, unbreakable. But Stoicism isn't about ignoring emotions. It's about mastering them. It's not about being unfeeling. It's about feeling deeply, but not being ruled by those feelings. Stoicism isn't just philosophy. It's a lens through which we see the world. And though it was born centuries ago, its lessons are as relevant now as ever. Because Stoicism teaches us to turn pain into perspective, to transform our struggles into wisdom. The Stoics believed philosophy belonged to everyone, not just scholars or kings. They taught in open spaces so that anyone could listen. From slaves to emperors, people gathered to learn. Epictetus, once a slave. Seneca, the statesman. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men to ever live. All united by a single idea that the mind, not circumstance, defines freedom. They practiced what they preached. They stood against inequality and even coined the term cosmopolitan, meaning citizen of the world. When we use that word today to describe cities like New York or London, we echo the same unity the Stoics envisioned centuries ago. And even in an age where women were forbidden from studying philosophy, the Stoics broke the rules. Musonius Rufus, teacher of Epictetus, declared, "Virtue isn't just for men. Women, too, have the same hunger for wisdom." And so, women were invited to learn, to question, to grow, long before society was ready for it. Asterisk, so why do people still follow Stoicism today? Because life hasn't changed as much as we think. We still face loss, disappointment, chaos, just like Zeno did. And in those moments, our emotions can betray us. We don't suffer because bad things happen. We suffer because bad things catch us by surprise. Rain, for example, isn't bad. It feeds life. But get caught in it without an umbrella, and suddenly it feels like the world's against you. So why don't we cry every time it rains? Because we expect it. We accept it. And that's what Stoicism teaches. Expect that everything that can happen will happen. Prepare your mind for it. And when it comes, face it with calm and strength. One Stoic practice is called voluntary discomfort. It's simple but powerful. Sleep on the floor. Take a cold shower. Eat plain food for a few days. Live without comfort, just to remember that you can. These moments of chosen hardship remind us that comfort is fragile, but character is not. When you build resilience in small ways, you prepare your mind for the storms ahead. And in today's world, where we're told that happiness depends on what we own, how we look, or how much we earn, this practice is more vital than ever. We're taught from childhood what success should look like. But often, those lessons come from a world chasing illusions. We absorb ideas from family, school, and society, and without realizing it, we start living for others instead of ourselves. That's where Stoicism cuts through the noise. It teaches us to focus inward, to act for our own growth, not external validation. Because when you tie your happiness to something outside yourself, money, fame, even love, you give your peace away to something you can't control, and anything external can fail, but what's within you, your reason, your discipline, your perspective, that's untouchable. That's freedom. That's Stoicism. Zeno lost everything and found something greater. From the ruins of a shipwreck, a new philosophy was born, a guide for anyone seeking peace in a chaotic world, because in the end, it's not the storm that defines us. It's how we sail through it. Cars break down. Natural disasters erase entire cities. Divorce rates climb higher every year. The truth is, even the free things in life come with a cost. The cost of space, both physical and mental. As Seneca once wrote, learning to live with less creates space in your life for the things that truly matter. So instead of chasing happiness in what we own, we have to anchor it in what we are. Our intrinsic value, the one thing no storm, no failure, no loss can take away. Because, in the end, we don't control most of what happens in this world, but we do control how we react. And that small difference changes everything. This is what Stoics call the dichotomy of control, the single most important concept in Stoic philosophy. Epictetus once said, "The chief task in life is simply this, to distinguish between what is under my control and what is not." That's it. It sounds simple, but it's the foundation of inner peace. We must learn to separate what's ours to influence from what's completely beyond our reach. Our value shouldn't come from outcomes we can't control, but from the effort we choose to give. Think about this. Creating a YouTube video is nothing compared to ruling an empire. But even that comes with its own set of challenges. You brainstorm, write, research, record, edit, design a thumbnail. You pour hours into it, and then you hit upload. At that exact moment, control slips away. Now it's in the hands of the algorithm, the viewers, the tides of luck. Most creators judge success by views, likes and subscribers, numbers that fluctuate, numbers we can't control. But the Stoic way: judge yourself by your effort, not the outcome. You can't control how many people watch your video, but you can control how much heart you put into it. Trust the process. Living with less isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation, freeing yourself from the invisible handcuffs society locks around your wrists. Picture this: a man works tirelessly for 6 months, believing he's earned a promotion. He approaches his boss with confidence, only to hear no. Instantly, his mind spirals. I must not be good enough. But what if the boss just had a bad morning, or the company couldn't afford it? There are 1,000 reasons beyond his control. If he focused only on the quality of his work, the part he controls, he'd still be proud, still at peace. The goal wouldn't be destroyed, just delayed. That's the Stoic mindset. Our framing that turns frustration into patience, and disappointment into discipline. True Stoics don't measure success by wealth or applause. They find comfort in knowing they can live well, even without the things money can buy. The 4 virtues of Stoicism. Every Stoic life rests on 4 pillars: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom, the ability to know what's internal and what's external. To understand that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power to choose. Courage, 2 words: persist and resist. To persist through hardship, and resist what's harmful to our character. Temperance, moderation. The art of saying more with less, doing more with restraint. While billionaires battle for the top of Forbes' list, Stoics believe wealth's true limit is simply this: having what's essential and enough. And finally, justice, the greatest virtue of all. Because we were born for each other, to help, not to harm. Scene shift, historical imagery fades in. Think of Nelson Mandela, a man who spent 27 years in prison for fighting apartheid. When he was finally freed and made president, the world expected vengeance. Instead, he chose forgiveness. While imprisoned, Mandela studied Marcus Aurelius and absorbed the essence of Stoic philosophy. He understood that the past was beyond his control, and only the future could be rebuilt. That is the Stoic way: to rise above anger, to act with justice, to meet pain with purpose. Modern Stoicism in psychology in today. Stoicism's wisdom runs deep in modern psychology. Rational, emotive, behavioral therapy, REBT, teaches people to challenge their negative thoughts, to face emotions with logic and clarity. And logotherapy, built on the idea that humans are driven by purpose, shows that even in suffering, meaning can be found. Both trace their roots back to Stoic thought, because the truth is, the mind can be trained. Our thoughts can be rewired. Old patterns can be broken. If we shift our sense of worth from things we can't control to things we can, we unlock the freedom to live with peace, gratitude, and strength. Stoicism helps us navigate the storms of life through past, present, and future until we reach calmer waters. And even if the ship sinks, even if we drown in the chaos of the world, We can take comfort in knowing that we lived with reason, courage, and grace, because, as every Stoic knows, everything has an end. But how you meet that end defines who you truly are.